Hi, I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig, and today we're talking about the Salomon XA Pro 3D trail running shoes. They are classified as a trail running shoe, as their name implies. However, I've done a lot more walking and hiking in these than I've actually done trail running. So Callie and I took a trip to Europe where we spent 4 weeks touring around in a van, and this was the only shoe that I brought with me. It's actually the first time I've tried Salomons. I was a little bit nervous because I've never had them before. Got them literally the day before we left for the trip, put them on, didn't take them off unless I was sleeping for about 32 days, and they did awesome in everything that we encountered. I figured that if these were a trail running shoe and people put hundreds of miles in these, they would absolutely stand up to the abuse that I was going to throw at them. So we did everything in these shoes, from walking along cobbled streets in Rome to hiking in the Dolomites in a little bit of snow like you see here, to walking through airports, to just sitting around and hanging out. These shoes handled all of the activities, no matter if it was wet or dry, thanks to the Contagrip outsole that they have. Now, I can say that when it is a little bit wet, especially on rocks, they are a little bit slipperier versus dry. I think that's going to be a given. However, knowing that things are a little bit slick and being prepared for that, these shoes had no problem whatsoever. A lot of things add to how comfortable these shoes are. They also make this in a Gore-Tex version, where if you think you're going to be getting wet, that would maybe be the shoe to go for. However, I opted for the non-Gore-Tex for one big reason. I wanted breathability, and these definitely have it. Around the outside of the shoe and then over your toe, and then up the inside of the shoe, it's a lot of mesh material. So that is gonna add to the amount of breathability that the shoe has. Also, another aspect that I found that was great to have the mesh is if they get wet, they dry rather quickly. I've had tennis shoes where literally 3 or 4 days later of just letting them sit, they're still damp because there's so much cushioning and material throughout the entire shoe. With these, if I let them sit overnight, they were pretty much dry the next morning. Also, adding to how comfortable they are, on the inside, it does come with an Ortholite Footbed. Not only is it adding shock absorption, but it is also antimicrobial. And I can attest to that because my shoes stink. My feet sweat, and it leads to my shoes almost rotting from the inside out. And I can say that after 30 plus days in these shoes, they really didn't smell that bad. I was extremely pleased by that. And that Ortholite Footbed was more than enough cushioning for my personal preference. Also, with the Salomon shoes, if you've been looking at them, you may have noticed that a lot of their models come with this unique lace-up system, and it's their quick lace. All you have to do is pull on the top, and it basically laces the entire shoe going down for you. And then you just take this plastic piece and slide it down, and it locks everything in place. And then there is a nice little garage for this plastic piece, and you can tuck it up inside, and then you're ready to go. I was always a little skeptical on this quick lace system and being able to really dial in the fit precisely. One thing that I found is that if I do grab up top and just pull, I do get a little bit more of a tightness up top, it feels like, versus down low. So what I've done is actually just pull about halfway up and tighten that first, and then from there, tighten the rest with the top. And I found at that point, I can really get a nice snug fit. The heel of my foot also locks into place with these shoes. They don't ever feel like they're too sloppy. And that was another worry of mine, just putting my foot in and going into Europe, that I was gonna get a lot of blisters. However, I didn't get a single blister or a sore spot with these shoes. I know that that may be subjective to what your foot type is and how you fit in the shoe, but for me personally, they fit wonderfully. The one thing that I would say about fit, I usually wear about a size 10 to 10.5. In the Salomon and in this particular shoe, I was a 10. However, I tried a lot of different Salomons on, and I was anywhere from a 9.5 to a 10.5 depending on the shoe. I have a little bit of a narrower foot, and I think that in their lineup, this would be about the widest shoe that I'd be able to wear. And where it comes into play is right in the toe box. That's where the width is. And for my foot, it's on the edge, I would say, of almost being too narrow for this shoe. If I'm wearing a thicker sock going hiking or trail running, it fits great. But if I'm wearing a thinner sock, I notice that the toe box does feel just a hair big. So definitely take that into consideration. I think it is very imperative that you try on the shoes first, because across their entire line, all the shoes, to me, fit a lot different. In the XA Pro 3D, they also have a ton of different colors. You can obviously see that I chose orange. If this is a little bit too vibrant for you, check them out on their website because they have a lot of different choices. Also, one last thing to mention, I like the toe cap that they've done on this shoe. So if you're going to be in rough, rocky terrain, it helps to protect the shoe and give it a lot more durability. It's going to last a long time. Again, this is the Salomon XA Pro 3D. If you guys have any questions on this shoe, please leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Also, if you're wondering where we are, you were like, what? You were just in Europe? I didn't know that. Or if you're wondering what we're doing, well, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Adventure Rig. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Again, I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig.